What's up, everybody? Truth Seeker in the house says, hey. Truth Seeker says, not sure if I'm here too early. Nope. You're right on time. I'm 2 minutes late. I apologize, guys. Truth Seeker says, this will be a very good live stream and chat tonight. I agree. It's not going to be crazy long because I have to do my MMA show in an hour and 15 minutes, but hopefully you can go the full hour and 15 minutes. Krishna Consciousness Academy is back. What's up? Thank you for joining again. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, this is going to be an important discussion because we've got my first ever interview coming up in 2 days. Paul Wallace also. Okay, so 2 Paul Wallaces. Very interesting. So I got to give you guys a couple announcements. So number 1, Paul Wallace, who's been on the channel, kind of in the live streams and commenting a lot. He sent over his book to me. He also has a YouTube channel as well that he sent to me. And he said he wants to potentially come on the channel. So I may have an interview there. I want to read his book and get through all the information first. And then also Cam the King. What's up? Cam the King. Yep, that it is starting. Cam the King says, yes, can't wait for the interview. The truth is out there. You caught the live. Let's go. Yeah. We were talking in the comments. Truth is out there. What's up? Welcome. Thank you for joining. Remkobuhuis says, hey, what's up? But yeah, so that Paul Wallace, and hopefully he'll be on here later today or at some point today. We shall see. But also Paul Wallace, who I made a video about. Let me show you this, guys. Hold on. Okay, wait. Actually, let me show you I'm going to show you guys the full comment here. 1 second. Dude. Okay, look how cool this is, guys. It's crazy, man. People are tuning into the channel. It's like pretty trippy. It's pretty trippy. Now, obviously, I'm not brand new to YouTube. I have a bunch of other channels. As I mentioned, I built my Scalar Learning channel since 2016. But still, this is a totally different type of channel. And just to see it starting to get some momentum and pick up and have this community beginning, it's just, it still feels very new. It still feels incredible and very exciting. Okay, hold on. Let me show you guys this comment. This is so cool. So I made this video about Paul Wallace and about the idea of hell being absurd and all this stuff. And he actually saw it and he commented on it. So I got to reach out to him. By the way, Truth Seeker says, same. I can't wait for this. Oh, yes, for this interview. It's going to be so sick. I can't wait, guys. I'm getting it all set up. And I've been talking to Tony Sayer, and he is saying that he is down to do a live. So what that means, people, I was waiting for hopefully more people to come on the live stream, but I'm going to just tell you guys now. What this means for Wednesday is we're going to be streaming live at 2 p.m. PST. I don't know how long exactly it's going to go, maybe an hour, maybe more. I just want to be respectful of Tony's time. But what this means is that you guys will be able to be in the chat and ask questions as well. So what I'm going to be doing is we do these types of live shows on my MMA channel. And the way it's going to work is obviously I'm going to have my talking points, the things that I want to mention and ask about. And of course, it's going to be a free-flowing conversation, a dialogue, typical podcast in that sense. But then every so often I'm going to take breaks and I'm going to jump through the comments and I'm going to try and prioritize, different questions and things like that. So that's what it's going to be. So people are going to get to engage in the commentary and the questions live, which I think is going to be really, really fun. So I'm excited. Okay, let me show you guys this comment here. This is so cool. Check this out. We have the Paul Willis. He said, thank you, my friend, for this piece on an important topic. By the way, I really appreciate the effort you have taken to represent my writing accurately. Thank you for a clear and grounded communication and thoughtful approach. Keep doing what you're doing. Health and peace, Paul. How sweet is that? How sweet is that? Like, that's so cool. So that is Paul Wallace in response to, I'll show you the video that I made here so you can see what it was all about. It was, hold on. Pink Tourmaline. Okay, let me show you guys. Hold on. Okay, check it out. It was this one. It was hell is mathematically absurd. That's the video because I made it about Paul Wallace, and yeah, he came out and saw it, which is super cool. Also, the same way I think Tony Sayers got in touch with me as he saw one of my videos about him, and so it began. And now we've got this really cool interview that I am so excited for coming up this Wednesday. So that's about that. That's why I wanted to jump on and talk about this. So if you guys out there are watching and tuning in and plan to tune in on Wednesday or plan to watch it after the fact, if you guys have questions, I've got my list of questions here. Let me actually load it up here. I've got my list of questions already for, where is it? For Tony Sayers. Let me get it open. And yeah, if you guys have interesting things to talk about or things that you think I should mention, let me know and I will start adding it to my list here. All right, boom, I got it up. So yeah, just keep those questions coming. Another thing I wanted to announce as well, that's in the description, but you guys, I finally launched memberships. So memberships are now active if you guys want to sign up. There's 2 levels. And it's the second level that I think people were asking for. So I basically created, it's a $9.99 a month membership. And for everybody who signs up for that, that's for the people that are interested in wanting to be a part of like a group chat where it wouldn't be, obviously we'll still always be doing the live streams. That'll be just for everybody. And we can jump on here and we can talk and chat. But for people who want to be a part of Zoom chats, or I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, Google Meets and things like that, you can sign up for that level. And then we're going to basically figure out the frequency of meets and stuff like that, and the timing and everything, and that should be really, 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 really fun. So I'm excited. Okay, Truth Seeker says, I see that Tony said, yeah, you resonate with him on that, really? Why do you? So that's actually, you know what? I'm going to add that to my list. 1 second. I want to talk to him about that because, hey, listen, right? It's not that he was talking about this on a recent live stream. Let me just zoom in a little bit. It's not that how do I put it? I don't resonate with him on that as right now. Obviously, I'm always open and fluid and open to having my mind changed. But as of now, man, it's just hard for me to accept. I feel like David Icke has been such a force for good and and disclosure and awakening on this planet. I mean, and also I want to know what that means. Doesn't trust him as far as what? You know what I mean? It can't. Is that a blanket statement of, is he completely, you know what I mean? Or is it there's certain things that he may be misled or off about, which that could happen to any of us. So let's see. What are your thoughts on David Icke? So let's see, that can be a great, nice question, and we can dive deeper into the intricacies of that. Because look, I'll say the same thing about other people that I've talked about on the channel or that maybe I get a funny vibe from. It's not as though I'm discounting everything that they say without any flexibility. There's still things that they say that I think are in line with truth and reality, but then there might be some things that kind of are irksome or rub me the wrong way. So it could be something along those lines. I mean, right, David Icke is just, dude, the guy has been beating the drum for 30 years. He's been banned from all these countries. He's put his life on the line in 1,000,001 ways to just try and help people and spread the truth. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say in a blanket statement, we can't trust him. I don't know. So I need to know more specifically about what Tony is saying on that front. Okay, Krishna says, yeah, it makes sense. He feels that way because David Icke is very popular. Seems like but I don't know. It just feels like too much considering all that the guy's been through. He's popular now, but I mean, think about how much he had to go through. I don't think we can just discount somebody because they're popular. I mean, he had to fight such an uphill battle for such a long time. And then I think a lot of people are now kind of waking up to a lot of the deception that's going on. And that's why so many people are coming to him now. So I don't know. I don't find that just by virtue of being popular, you have to discount somebody, because then it's like, if we have that mindset, then any movement that starts catching on, there's going to come a tipping point where we just drop them. Like, I don't know. Now, again, if it goes along with some paradigm shift or some weird things that they're all of a sudden doing once they reach a certain level of popularity, I can understand that. But for David Icke, he's kind of been saying the same thing forever. KK Loco says, ironically, almost every UFOologist doesn't like David Icke. Even more ironically, almost every one of those UFOologists now agree with him about reptilians running the show. Wow, that's wild. Well, yeah. I mean, I know that Stephen Greer probably isn't a fan of David Icke, but that's because Stephen Greer has been pushing a very specific. See, this is and this is somebody that listened to Stephen Greer for a long time and is been a big fan of him for a long time. But Stephen Greer is very much set on pushing the narrative that all ETs, advanced life forms that visit, are all benevolent, all have no negative intent. And like, we are so beneath them technologically that why would they want to use us for anything malevolent? So obviously the David Icke narrative conflicts with what he's just been trying to push so aggressively. But yeah, Remco Boo Huis, Tony is not a fan of binaural beats, and I think also not a fan of Monroe Institute. Really? Hey, did you know, Remco, that I'm going to Monroe in July? So I'm actually heading there. That's, if he's not a fan of Monroe, it would probably be because he must be a fan of Bob Monroe, because obviously he gets the Loosh theory from Bob Monroe. But maybe of some of the I'm curious to know what he's saying about Monroe Institute as of today. But I'm going, and I'm super excited. I think they discount him because they don't want to admit they were wrong for decades. Possibly. Truth Seeker, I've always had questions for him. A lot of his information is someone else's. Why have they not removed him, taken him out? They took William Milton Copper. Copper had exposed David Icke. Wait, they took William Milton Copper. Copper had exposed David Icke? How did he expose him? In what way? And yeah, I always ask these questions too. Stephen Greer, David Icke, a lot of these big figures that have reached high levels and are really pushing for disclosure. Why haven't they just been eliminated? I think part of the reason is if you get to a certain level of public exposure, and I'm actually surprised, we saw what happened recently. I know there's a lot of questions surrounding, what's his name? Wilcock. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I haven't investigated, so I can't say anything. But I do think when people reach a certain level of exposure, it's a little bit risky for some of these things to happen, because it can backfire if it creates too much of a stir. Oh my God, look what just happened. He must have been onto something. So I think that element could be at play. There could be other elements at play that we are not aware of. I don't know. But yeah, these are all really valid questions that I don't have 100% sure answer on. His new energy feels fake and manufactured. His old stuff from the 2000s feels legit and real, though. Are you talking about David Icke? Really? He feels fake? That's interesting. I don't get that. I don't feel that. The truth is out there. I've been watching David Icke's videos for a long time now. He's been saying the same thing. Yeah. And being banned in 30. I know, right? That's how I feel. I don't feel like he's changed his tune. I mean, he's gotten older. He's a little bit more subdued. He's not as young and vibrant and energetic maybe as he used to be, but I don't know. I feel like David Icke's one of the real good guys. That's my feeling today. That's my feeling right now. Greer is an IC. He also claims that they are all, I know. And it's like, it's weird because Greer got me into the whole UFO community from the get-go. So I have a certain positive feeling towards him. Just will always have something of a positive vibe to him, because he brought all that information to me at the beginning when I knew nothing. But I don't know what an IC is, by the way. Could you let me know what that means, KK Loco? But I gotta say, lately, as I've had this whole awakening, I guess you could call it, and then now I look back at Greer, and then the way he gets so mad and triggered in interviews when you mention any of these guys having malevolent intentions, he's like, oh, you watch too much science fiction. No, if they wanted to, they could wipe us out like that. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, we could do the same thing with all animals on this planet, but we don't, for a number of reasons. One, for the ecosystem, and also two, we have purposes for them that we use them for. I mean, so that the logic just doesn't make sense. And I don't know why he repeats that same point over and over. Just like, nope, they're all peaceful. They're all good. Why? When you deal in absolutes, that's a red flag to me. They killed Max Spears. Very strange. David Icke has never mentioned him or anything Max spoke about. That's interesting. Yeah, Max Spears. That definitely, I didn't even know about him until you guys brought him up to me, and I did a video about him. That guy is very interesting. Very, very interesting. I know. I was there also 20 years ago. Highly recommend. Oh, cool. You were there in Monroe? Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I am so excited. It's going to be the highlight of my summer. And I'm even doing a big trip as well this summer. But, you know, it's just like, this is the number one thing I'm looking forward to this summer. I cannot wait. Truth Seeker, I was told from a random stranger leaving a message to look up William Milton Copper, Behold the Pale Horse. That's a book he wrote. I've seen videos where David Icke is Freemason and Jordan Maxwell. Hold on, let me add that to my other list. William Milton Copper. Hold on. William. I almost made a video last night about Jordan Maxwell, but then I ended up making a different one. But I made tonight. Jordan Maxwell was a Freemason too, really? Max Beardsley took him out. Julian Assange went to jail. John McAfee assassinated in jail. Ike never faced such threats, plus almost 1 million subs on YouTube. Seems weird. Yeah, but like, we can't just assume. If we just start assuming that everybody that's not taken out is part of the opposition, it's tough, because then we have people that are fighting for good and out there, and it's like, well, wait a minute, he's still around. Okay, we're going to stop listening to him. That almost feels as a disinformation, misinformation campaign that's seeping into our subconscious, that's now just telling us to shut out people that have survived as well. You know what I mean? I don't know. That feels, I'm trying to just use my discernment and listen to his messages, listen to the way he speaks. He still has the passion. He's still saying, as far as I can tell, the same thing. I don't see why, just the fact that he's alive, we should stop listening to him or think he's controlled opposition in any way. I don't know. They didn't eliminate Ike because his claims were so far out there. Turns out the truth is that fantastical. You have to get into UFOlogy to understand this topic in full. Yeah. I'm with you. And I think I dove pretty deep, as I've mentioned on this channel many times, into UFOlogy years ago, 14 years ago, right? 12 years ago. My bad. Yes, of course, they all have a lot of truth, but I have too many questions I'd ask and question him on. Oh my God. Imagine if I could get David Icke on here one day. That'd be sick. IC means intelligence community, aka he is Mossad and possibly CIA. There's evidence of Greer. Really? I've never heard of that before. That's wild. That's wild. Huh. I'm not going to say I don't know. I do find it weird that he gets so triggered when anybody mentions any non-benevolent motive that could be attributed to these ETs. It's so weird. Why? Why do you have to shut it down so hard? It doesn't make sense. Eddie, what's up? Welcome back. All benevolent. Haha. Anyway, PT, check out Spiritual Stockholm Syndrome by Eric Dubay. He talks about some of these issues. Okay, putting it on the list. Eric Dubay. What is it? Spiritual Stockholm Syndrome. Spiritual Stockholm Syndrome. Oh my God. By the way, Paul Wallace sent me the craziest video. Actually, that one I might do a video on tonight. It's really, really interesting. It's about the light that you see and how to avoid it, but then all sorts of other stuff that you have to avoid. It's pretty interesting, from a channel that I've seen before, actually, too. Everest, given the gigantic nature of the cosmos, is it childish to assume we are the bad ones and a problem, and any other intelligent life forms are super benevolent and angel-like? Right. I agree. Well, and then he always goes to the argument, well, if they were not benevolent, they would just destroy themselves. You can't evolve to this level of civilization and still have this type of malevolence, or still have this type of childish desire to go out and conquer and attack and things like that. Maybe it's possible, but what is up with this absolute statement, and why is it why do you feel so confident with the vast scope and expanse of the cosmos that you can just apply this across the board and say, well, if they're here, they're good. Boom. That's it. It's like, what? It doesn't really add up to me. Too absolute. How come David Icke doesn't say how he is going to avoid all the digital beast system and everything else? None of them really do. How come he doesn't say how he's going to avoid the digital beast? Actually, I guess you're right. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a good question. He warns us about it all the time. Yeah, but he may not know. You know what I mean? He may not know how to avoid it other than move into the wilderness or something and just unplug. But he may be just as out of answers as we are. You know, I think that's fair that David Icke, Shirley, Tony Sayers, all these guys that we look up to don't have all the answers. And, you know, that's something that I'm starting to have to grapple with. That's why I am so fascinated by these folks that do, you know, remote viewing. That's why I made that video yesterday, Intuitive Underground. Man, you guys got to see that video. That is crazy. I'm going to do more breakdowns of it, though, because I think there's a lot more information to extract. I also reached out to those guys. Let me see if they responded yet. Hold on. No, they haven't, but I would love to interview them. That would be so fun. Krishna Conscious Academy. Tony doesn't agree with Icke because Icke promotes doing protests to fight digital ID, etc. Oh, well, there you go, Truth Seeker. I guess he's fighting the digital ID and doesn't promote sovereign thinking. Tony says all protests are staged and not a sovereign approach to oppression. Well, actually, David Icke, in a video that I just broke down recently, talks about how protests are ineffective. Hold on. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I literally just did a video on this. Hold on. David Icke. Let me see. Was it? I want to say it's this one. Yeah, it's this. Hold on. I got to find the clip. Let me see if I can. This is London Real People. Okay, hold on. I'm going to find it for you guys right now. Watch David Icke. I'm going to show this to you guys right now. Okay. Protest. Hold on. Is this it? Let me just make sure I got the right video up here. No, this isn't it. Hold on. Darn it. Yeah, it's this one. Here we go. Here, I found it. 1 second. Oh, man. 1 second. Shoot. Okay, well, that was a waste of time. Hold on. Let me just see if it's in any of these clips that I have up here. Hold on. It might be actually this clip here.
I just want to get your thoughts on Trump, the Trump phenomenon, and what you can tell about the rest of the world by looking at their reaction to Trump.
Well, Trump is the equivalent of a Hollywood actor on the movie screen. And the anti-Trumps people are other actors in the movie. And so humanities, those people that get caught in it, that he's the baddie. He's the baddie in this movie. That Trump, he's the baddie. Oh no, he's the goodie. He is the person I like. Right? It's a movie, and while we are focusing on this again, this minutiae of Trump, anti-Trump, left, right, and all this nonsense that we get caught into, Silicon Valley's doing what it is doing in terms of destroying freedom of information and driving on on behalf of things like DARPA, the technological development arm of the Pentagon, this AI transhumanist agenda. It's a diversion.
No, that's not the clip. Darn it. Okay, let me try this one real quick. Hold on. We got some comments in here. Krishna says, doing protests is pleading to authority, according to Tony Sayers. Yeah, that's fair. But I literally remember a clip of David Icke saying that the going out and there and protesting is pointless. Or like people feel this way, but they're not really achieving much. I agree a lot of stuff that Tony says, but I think he pushes his attachment stuff too far. So he gets paid. You think Tony pushes the attachment stuff too far? Okay. I'm going to have to, maybe I'll ask him about that. So wait, Kelso, do you have can I put that in a question of any sorts? You're talking about the attachment. If you can give me more details, maybe I can frame that in a question to Tony on Wednesday. We all are all pieces of the puzzle. Greer saying that government successfully retro-engineered alien tech is his piece. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. Look, people are going to have some parts of the story right, some parts of it wrong. So we can't discount, and this is exactly right. Just because, like, even if there's something that comes out that's checkered in somebody's past, or they come out with this piece of information that's incorrect, and they're really stalwartly supporting this one position that turns out to be incorrect, it's not grounds to dismiss, I don't think, everything that they've said. I think this is almost a manipulation tactic by the powers that be so that people can get discounted and discredited very easily for one bad move. So I think you're absolutely right, Everest. It's such a good point. So much of what Stephen Greer has said is indeed legitimized and has been legitimized by and all the testimony, all the good work he's done. Fine, if he's off about this one thing, or maybe other things too, who knows? But he still provided the world with a lot of good information. You're absolutely right. What a great way to look at everything. That is true. The type of protest, it's really about all of them are not coming together. Yes. Christian says, but yeah, I do get your points on Icke. Got to give credit where credit is due. Yeah, and we got to be real that Icke did first. Yes, 100%. His books are just way too important. I haven't even ordered one of his books yet. I've just been watching a ton of clips of him online, but I've ordered all these other books. It's so crazy. I think Roadmap is a book that a lot of people have recommended. I need to read that. Maybe I'll start with that one first. Curious to know what his writing even is like. His voice, his literary voice. I'm curious. Different mind views, and some have their own agenda. Yeah, certainly. And once again, guys, if you are on here and have questions for Tony Sayers, please let me know. That's kind of one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this live stream. I didn't really plan it out way in advance, but I wanted to see if we had a final brainstorming session before the Tony interview on Wednesday. Krishna says we should just take ideas that suit us and not cling onto people. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It sucks though, because I think my personality, and maybe a lot of your guys, is we listen to somebody and they're doing all this good work, they're sending out this good information, and then we kind of get an attachment to them. Maybe that's part of the way that the system works to mess with us. We get attached to somebody because they're helping humanity, and then all of a sudden you discredit them, and then it shakes your faith and all this stuff. But it's like, no, wait a minute. We shouldn't be attaching to the person, because all people are imperfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We should attach to the message and the information. But yeah, you're right on, Krishna. David Icke has his own website. That's where I would have watched everything. Yes. He's got his own website, got his own YouTube channel. So yeah, very cool. KK Loco says, something I don't know about Tony, but maybe it's already been answered. Where does he glean his information? Is he just a researcher? Does he have experience in astral? I read somewhere. I'm going to ask him about that. You know what? Do you have personal experience in the astral plane? or do you get all of your information from research? Great question. I don't know the answer to that, but I will ask. The truth is out there. Some PDF books of David Icke is available online. I'm about to read The Trap. Oh, snap. Hey, truth is out there. Let us know when you read that book, when you finish it. Let me know your thoughts. And then if you read some other books, I'm going to turn on my heater. If you read some other books and have recommendations, please let me know. Right now, I've got a stack of books so big. I finished the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And then I'm reading, I'm trying to blast through a few of Tony Sayers' books by Wednesday, just so I have as much information as possible. And they're not going to, I don't think they're super long reads. So if I can do all of that by Wednesday, that'd be fantastic. And then I can get back on my list of other books. Can you ask Tony Sayers how he plans to exit the yeah, 100%. Great question. How do you plan to exit the reincarnation trap yourself? Great question. Oops. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you guys got more questions. Also, if you guys did see my video from yesterday, it is called Remote Viewers Confirm the Soul Trap. If you guys did watch it, I'd love to know your thoughts because, man, also, can somebody remind me who mentioned this video to me? Was it you, Krishna? I can't remember, but somebody, and if you guys can let me know, I'll give them a shout out because I'm going to do one or two more videos on this massive video. It's mind-blowing. But somebody mentioned it, I think, in my live stream to say, hey, you should check out these guys, Intuitive Underground. They've got this one video on YouTube. They're a group of remote viewers. And like I said, obviously in the video, they're not on camera. It's a little bit of a weird format. But if you listen to what they're saying, it will blow you away. You recommended it. I thought so. Okay, Krishna. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Hey, did you watch? You said you appreciate my efforts. Okay, so the Intuitive Underground video now was so good. Okay, good. So you watched it. Okay, let me make sure to add you in because I'm gonna give you a shout out on the next video. Hold on. I'm gonna make a copy of it right now. And we're going to say shout out to at Krishna, Consciousness Academy. All right, boom. It's in my slides. So when I do the next video, you'll be in there. All right. Yeah. That was so good. And the video is doing really good, which I'm really happy about as well. It's doing fantastic right now. Truth is out there. Oh, yes, I watched it. And I have to watch it again, though. I need to take some notes. Yeah. I mean, I need to. So I'm going to watch. Maybe I'll just do that tonight. Maybe I'll make another video on this exact thing tonight because it was so incredible. But I have to, it's just so long. So I have to start. I think I'm at like the 2-hour mark now. And I'll go through. Sorry, excuse me. And I'll grab a bunch of excerpts and different things like that. Thank you. Truth is out there. Hold on. I want to go back to what your comments were because I remember you in the comments. Let me see. View all responded. I feel like I responded to your comments yesterday. Truth is out there. Hold on. And by the way, Truth is out there. How long have you been following the channel? I'd love to know. Hold on. And I don't know if Mahela is going to be jumping on here. I did check out her YouTube channel, actually. She sent it to me via email. Hold on. Where is Truth is out there? I found it. You said, okay, here it is. Oh, yeah, this is the comment that Truth is out there said. Hello, all. I just want to share some thoughts coming to mind right now about intuition. I believe it's something that guides us towards making the right decisions, that voice from within, but where or who is it coming from exactly? I mean, that's a good question. That could be commandeered, I suppose, but I'd like to think good, true intuition. Well, man, I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'd like to think our real like intuition, when we get that feeling, like we feel it authentically. I want to believe that that is just something really deep, like our connection to our true selves and our true power, if you will. Many people, all right, question 2. Many people who had NDEs have seen, quote unquote, their pets, dogs, cats, or other animals on the other side. These animals have souls, question mark. In Hinduism, the belief is people may reincarnate as animals if these energies are being harvested. Are these animals also being used for loosh farming? That's a great question. I wonder about that all the time. Animals, insects, and then are there some biological machinery on this planet that don't have soul energy, that are simply purely machinery, like viruses or bacteria, or even certain not even just single-celled organisms, but are certain organisms devoid of a spiritual entity? I'd love to know that. But like when it comes to my dog, dude, I just can't believe that he wouldn't have. I just think of course he's got a soul. Like he's just a little legend. I can't, and the connection. I mean, yeah. So I don't know, but nah, I don't know. I think he does. And are they being used for the loosh? I wonder that too. I wonder if I mean, this is a pure speculation. I wonder if the greater mental capacity that an organism has, the higher the yield is, or the output is of the loosh. Like I wonder that, because why else? What would be the purpose? I remember thinking this when I watched The Matrix the first time. I'm like, okay, the whole Matrix movie was really, really cool. But then at the same time, why would you use humans that can actually figure out the system? Why wouldn't you just have a Matrix full of elephants or something, where they'd be less likely to figure out that they're in a virtual simulation? So I have the same question in this case as well. Why bestow an intellectual capacity upon the individuals in the simulation that would allow them to actually figure stuff out and escape? Now, of course, there could be answers to that. Number one, it could play into the free will idea. No, we're choosing to have a certain level of intellect when we come back, and they can't say no, right? We talked about this idea of consent. That's number one. Number two, perhaps a higher intelligence provides a greater yield. So it's like a risk reward type of situation. Again, total speculation. I have no idea. But okay, let me read the rest of this comment from The Truth Is Out There. I also think a lot about the smallest insects, bugs, any yep, literally just what I was talking about. Anything and everything that is alive. It blows my mind when I think about the life force. Also, I recently read about free will. The brain is a machine. Neuroscience shows that unconscious brain activity begins before you become consciously aware of a decision. Yeah, I've heard that as well. This suggests your choice is simply the mechanical result of your genetic makeup and past environment. The laws of physics suggest that the future is predetermined, leading some physicists to say that it's impossible for free will to exist. So do we really have free will, or everything is predetermined? I mean, this is a question I think we've all wondered and asked about, but I certainly think at this juncture, no, I think free will, it seems to be a universal law of the universe, of existence. I think we do. And I think just because our subconscious begins processing, I mean, is the subconscious just the machinery? Is that also our spirit and our soul? And also we're measuring mechanisms of decision making from the brain, but what about the spirit behind enabling those decisions? So who's to say that these measurements are accurate? Because most people conducting these experiments are doing it from a materialist standpoint. So I don't know. I don't know how much weight I would put into those studies. Okay. Truth Seeker. The first time I listened to remote viewing music, I was in front of a man who I only watched his videos on YouTube. I was in conversation with him. When I knew this was happening, I woke up. Whoa, that's so cool. Have you practiced Truth Seeker remote viewing for a long time? How can this have happened to me, or what does it mean? Don't know. You get your information from your heart brain, giving you the feelings for your messages. No way my doggy doesn't have a soul. Yeah, exactly. Right? My worry, they're ISPs like us, but they've been zapped too many times by the memory wipe system. Supposedly you lose a little bit of your soul every time. That's what some people say, but then other people say it's all recoverable. And I mean, if we truly are energy that is never ending and always existing, then I think these yeah, like right now, a piece of us is gone, but I don't think it's not retrievable or recoverable. And I think ultimately, if the free will equation is in effect, I think these Isbys or souls that entered Cosmo, for example, maybe he chose to come in the form of a dog. I think he came here to be with me. I don't know. You know what I mean? To be my little angel, my little helper in this life. And I imagine KK Loco, you feel the same way about your dog. And it's just, I don't like, it's not just wishful thinking, but I think we feel that somewhere deep down. Remote viewers are Farsight and Brett Stewart had remote viewed the room. They found it was brought here by aliens and houses mechanisms that beams energy to Earth to control. Oh, you meant the moon, but viewed the moon. They found it was brought here by aliens and houses mechanisms that beam energy to Earth and control humans through emotions. Yeah, I heard another story too, that Earth used to be a very, very turbulent environment, and it was just like too crazy for people to inhabit. So the moon is because of its large gravitational force, it like stabilized Earth and made it more habitable. I have no idea, but I saw that in a video as a potential theory for it being an artificial construct meant to make the Earth what it is now. The truth is following. I've been following since a few weeks. Oh, very cool. And I've been watching all your videos since. Oh, amazing. Thank you. I want to learn and absorb all that I can. And thank you for doing what you're doing. I like how you question everything. Well, thank you for being a part of the journey. And I really appreciate you for joining the live stream today. Because again, this was kind of impromptu. And I was hoping as many people as possible would join. But obviously, when I do it last minute like this, what can I expect? You know what I mean? But just because I was trying to get as many good questions as possible. Yeah, Christian, I figured you said the moon, not the room. But anyways, yeah, coming back to the truth is out there. Thank you again. And thank you to everybody new that's jumping on and joining the channel and seeing what it's all about. I really appreciate everybody. It's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Truth Seeker. We are all being energy harvested from using the technology. It's already spying and has made digital twin of you. Leaks. Everything we give our energy to, it wants you in fear and anger. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Something that I already know the answer to this, but I am just going to ask it anyways. Who knows? Maybe I need a little bit more confirmation. All right. So for a long time, I used to love true crime. Loved it. Like fascinated by it. Dateline, all those episodes. And then a couple of years ago, I kind of had an epiphany that I'm like, I'm watching a lot of this stuff right before I go to bed. It's dark content. It's negative content. It's putting weird thoughts in my head right before I go to bed. I'm like, this can't be good for me. And then I got really sick one day. I went to the hospital. I was in so much pain. And I said, oh my God, I don't want to die. I felt like I was dying. It was the worst pain, worse than when I had shingles, I can't remember anything being that bad. And I said, please, if I can make it out of this, I'll stop watching all this nonsense. And I made it out of it. And I stopped watching all the serial, like I was watching, stuff on serial killers that I was fascinated about, true crime, just different things like that. I was so fascinated by interrogations. I went to law school. I'm an attorney, but I don't practice anymore. So I was just so fascinated by all these interrogations of people that had done bad things. But I had that experience and I said, I'm stopping. And I did. I stopped on a dime. But what I have been watching, maybe as a replacement, you could say, is these body cam videos. And it's like police body cams. And I also find it fascinating. But it's still, I'm seeing people act a fool, being dishonest, being evasive, doing weird things at airports, getting arrested. And there's a part of it that's satisfying because you're watching people behave really badly and really terribly and disrespectfully. And it's justice kind of capturing them. And so that part I like, but then I'm thinking about it and it's not good energy to be absorbing, and it's creating emotions in me. Sometimes I get angry. I get triggered at the people that are acting a fool. So my question is, but I think I already know the answer. Should I stop all of this? Is this the type of emotions and energy output that our devices are trying to get from us for the greater benefit of the system, right? Is this what you're talking about, Truth Seeker, or anybody else, if you want to chime in here? Jose, if I have links of videos of Brett Stewart remote viewing some interesting stuff that's not publicly available. Yeah, my email is Pink Tourmaline. Yeah. You can email me there. That's amazing. Why is it not available publicly, though? That's so crazy. I think it would be fair to say that the reason that Lush is focused on humans is because we not only express emotionality in a powerful way, but we also affect reality more than animals. Sure. We do affect reality more, but I think your first point, I have a feeling that the first point, I mean, look, I'm pure speculating. I don't know, but I have a feeling that maybe because of a higher level of complexity or greater or wider array of emotions or a greater depth of emotions, maybe there's more output there, but I don't know. And then also, is that greater output from, like, is it double the output? Is it 10 times the output? Is it to the 5th power? You know what I mean? How much greater is the output? And it could be to such a magnitude greater that it just dwarfs all the energy output from everything else. Hence why they want to do it, use us as that main conduit. True Tigger says, we can learn from a cat or a dog. They have no problem or worries like people. They're supposed to help the person to practice being help the person to practice being. A lot of people F up animals, making them almost human. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean making them almost human? What does that mean? I'd love to know what you mean more about that. About the moon being mechanical, David Icke has been saying that Saturn is a satellite which broadcasts to the moon or something wild. You know what I just watched, by the way, which you guys recommended. I watched it over the weekend, is Jupiter Ascending. Dude, that movie is great. There's straight up reptilians in that movie. And then they have a chemical or like a substance called like basically Lush, but it's not, it's called something different. And obviously it has a different purpose in that movie. It's not like powering the ships or whatever. It's like an immortality serum. But yeah, that movie's crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? This is the only time I've ever seen reptilians in a movie. And I think that's by design. But yeah, I don't know why they did that. And so crazy. Krishna says, Brett Stewart took down some of his best stuff around 2020 because he moved on to other ventures like AI movie making. Really? Is he making movies now? And what are they, for entertainment or what? Yep, swap Jupiter for Saturn and you have truth in that movie. Dang. Saturn ascending. That's so wild. Huh. So people are saying Saturn, that planet is massive. Oh my God. There's just so much information to still uncover and dig through. You know, one thing that I haven't done for a couple of days is my deep meditation, but I'm going to do it tonight. The reason why I didn't do it last night is because I was so sleep deprived. I was a little nervous to do it because I don't know. I get nervous. Oh, excuse me. I get nervous when I'm super sleep deprived. Like my mind and my brain's a little fragile. So I just didn't want to try it, but I'm going to try it back. I'm going to get back on the horse tonight. All right. Krishna says he's emailed the Brett Stewart links. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. Again, let me remind you guys, Tony Sayers, if we can get some final questions for Tony Sayers here, that'd be incredible. Because like I said, that interview is going down Wednesday. It's crazy. So if you guys, let me open it up here. Yeah, if you guys have more questions for Tony, were any of you guys on the Tony Sayers live stream over the weekend? I think it was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. But that was pretty cool. Truth is out there. I hate horror movies. I can't do it. That I can't do. I used to watch horror movies and videos late at night before bed. I've experienced some type of fear whenever I would wake up from my sleep, whenever I'd watch those. The fear is indescribable. Yeah, horror movies were never my thing. I mean, I've watched them, and some of them 28 days later, I remember thinking, I would never watch it again. But I remember when I watched it, I'm like, wow, what a fascinating idea, an apocalypse type of event. And what would it be like to wake up in the world with everything shut down? Like they did such a good job showing what that would be like in the movie. So I thought that was really cool. But in general, I've never been one to be like, oh, I like to be scared. I like to be frightened in movies. I want to laugh. I don't even like to cry, although there are some movies that are just so beautifully raw and real and emotional that you can kind of say, okay, I'll make an exception for this one just because it's so good. And it's just Little Miss Sunshine, man. That movie, oh, that had me crying at multiple points, but like, that just, it's too good. I might watch that again tonight. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, Little Miss Sunshine. But yeah, I like to laugh. Truth Seeker, people who treat animals like a child, dress it up, the animal becomes more important than themselves and other people. Okay, well, I don't dress my dog up, but he's extremely important to me. So I was wondering if that's the point you were making. So let me tell you about. I don't know if you think this is bad, but okay. First of all, he's next to me here. He's with me as much as possible. He sleeps in the bed with me, and we're like two peas in a pod. And I take him to a DOG. I can't say it because if he'll wake up and hear it, and he'll get excited. I take him to a DOG PARK. That is a special one in Los Angeles that it's very, very safe. It's secure. They vet the people that come in, and so I wouldn't take him to a public one because I'm too worried that something might happen. A unattentive owner, an aggressive dog, stuff like that's all vetted at the place where I go to. But things like this, yeah, I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think I've gone too far, or are you saying different things? But yeah, I mean, he's my son. He's my little son. He's my little legend. He's awesome. And I think when I was going through really tough times, I've told you guys about the stalker situation and whatnot. That was horrendous and horrible. But I would go to bed every night just saying to him, I was like, all right, little man, you got my back. I got your back. So, if something goes down, you do your part. You just wake me up and I got the rest. I'll take care of the rest. I think that also bonded us. But yeah, he's just dude, my dog is like, you probably all feel like this, but he just doesn't really do anything ever. I don't know. He's just always doing the right thing, in my opinion. I'm talking about when he plays with other dogs. He's so kind and gentle. When I offer water or food or something, he's never like jumping in and trying to take it from another dog. He always lets the other dog go first, and he waits his turn. He's so patient. And he's just, I don't know, just everything he does, I feel I'm just really impressed by him. And so, okay, but Truth Seeker is saying, no, it's far different. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But I don't know. Do you guys feel like this? I'm sure you do, about your dogs. Who else was saying in here that their dog definitely has a soul? Was that KK Loco maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, chime in about how you feel about your dogs if you would like to. Any more questions, guys, for Tony Sayers? And give me feedback on the memberships that I created too. I don't know if anybody is interested in, or if these memberships sound worthwhile or useful. But yeah, let me know your feedback on them as well. Everything is still a work in progress, but just trying to set things up on the channel best I can as we move forward. Any more questions for David? Sorry, not David Icke. That one day that's going to happen. For Tony Sayers, everybody, for Tony Sayers. Truth Seeker, people who own animals that act completely crazy and even the owner can't control their own pet. Yeah, I've seen that. You know what's funny about my dog Cosmo is that I've trained him, okay, but not to a crazy extent. And I don't know, one of the things that somebody told me was once you and your dog have a really strong bond, they're going to want to do things that you approve of, if that makes sense, because they love you in a certain way. And I feel like that's how it's been with Cosmo. He just does the right thing or is just great when he's at home or with me, because I think that he cares what I think and I care what he thinks at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like a mutual respect. Krishna consciousness. Brett Stewart has an AI song called Don't Go Into the Light, Bro. Oh, no way. Really? What? Let me look at this. Hold on. BT Stewart T1 Telling. Hold on. BT Stewart T1 Telling. Let me find this. Stewart T1 or TI. Can't find it. Hold on. At BT Stewart. I can't find it. Wait, hold on. You said don't go into the light, bro. Hold on. Oh, I found it. Hold on. Let's see this. Hold on. Let's watch this. Oh, these folks. This is crazy.
Don't go in the light, bro. The moon runs a soul tax. Farm fresh, loose on tap. Whole earth's one mented trap. Galaxy Fed won't call me back. Ghosted since the hybrid pack. Disclosures any day now. Cruel is bait and switch. Time's been glitching lately. Some days sprint, some days crawl. Deja vu keeps hitting like the Sims in full free fall. Clouds keep repeating, same formation twice a day. Moon flickers overhead.
That's crazy. All right. Well, anyways, thanks for sharing that, Krishna. I appreciate it. The truth is out there. I don't know if you have this question already, but anything about the moon being a soul trap. Okay. Let me add that. Yep. Okay. Let's go back to the questions. I got to close this down actually in a little earlier than I thought. I was going to go another 15 minutes, but I think I'm going to have to jump off because I got to get ready for my MMA show that starts in 15 minutes. Okay. What are your thoughts on the moon? Okay. I love the music. Yeah, it's not bad. Brett Stewart, what a G. Good beats, KK Loco says. I do meditation daily, and lately before I sleep, I say to myself, I want to experience more of my infinite multidimensional self. I like that. What it seems to be like parallel lives. What is the name to look up? Which name? What are you referring to, Truth Seeker? Oh, for the song? Here, I'll post in the here so you guys can see it. There it is. Go ahead and check that out. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut down the live stream, but thank you, everybody, for joining. We got some good questions, and we had some fun discussions here. If you guys haven't seen, again, my recent video about Intuitive Underground, make sure to check that out because I'm pretty sure I'm going to do part 2 tonight. I may do another topic, but it's unlikely. I think I'm just going to keep diving in since you guys all saw that yesterday and people seem to like it. Oh, you do a lot of meditation as well. I can leave. I know you. I think you mentioned that before. That's so cool. Okay, guys, I got to run. Thank you, everybody, for making this channel what it is. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And the next time I'm back live, we're doing videos, every day. But next time I'm back live is Wednesday for the Tony Sayers interview. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.